Hi there. I hope you're doing well. It's been a little while since we did a little back and forth talk here, but I really hope that you're well through all of this. And I'm here today to talk more about depression slash suicide. Okay, it's going to be kind of a heavy talk, but I definitely feel the need to do so. My good friend messaged me yesterday, and she's been battling depression, and it's started to get the best of her. And she's here still, so I'm very grateful for that. But in thinking of ways that I could do something possibly to assist her in her road to this, hopefully someday, a full recovery from depression. I'm crossing my fingers still on that one, but every day so far is a struggle. Every day is a choice, and so far I've been making the right ones, I think. I'm here doing this video, so okay. Here we go. I hope that this video reaches somebody who needs to hear it. Depression is serious, okay? It's not something to make fun of, make light of. It's not something to ignore, even in its smallest form. That's why I created this page, Molly's Brighter Side, because every day I choose to wake up and find the brighter side of things, because Lord knows there's a lot out here to push us to the negative side, the negative way of thinking. And for the longest time, that consumed my thoughts, the negativity. And this depression, we know, can lead to a suicide. Okay, I lost my son to suicide and had no clue whatsoever that there was any depression. His best friend and roommate had no clue that there was any depression. His battling with that was in silence, and I wish I would have known. I wish I could have reached through to him and helped him, but I couldn't, and his father couldn't, and his best friend couldn't, because he didn't share any of it with anybody. Part of me doesn't blame him. He was sick. I believe that depression is a disease, and when a disease is left untreated, it can either quickly or slowly be our demise. And so I don't blame him for taking this route. I'm upset. I'm incredibly sad. But I don't want to ever make it sound like I'm putting blame. Okay, because that's not the case. And then another part of me, in a way, I guess kind of does. And here's how that is, because number one, there was no attempts to share this information. There was no attempts to seek help. there were only attempts in our findings afterwards. There were only attempts made to check out ways of how. The doctors didn't know. Nobody knew. There was no reach out. He's the only one that could have done that. We as his parents, his siblings, his friends, nobody is a mind reader and can get inside our heads and find those dark thoughts that we have. So for that reason, and that reason only, there's a part of me that does put some blame there. Just that little bit. But I don't blame him. I don't blame him. I wish things would have been different. And I think that's one thing that we don't realize when we suffer with depression. How we have a certain kind of responsibility to ourselves. If not to others, our loved ones, then at least to ourselves. I don't know why he did it. So many questions are unanswered. And when he was with us, we knew he loved us. We knew he loved his family and his friends, and his heart was huge, and he was always the one to be there to cheer you up when you were down. I'm not saying he was perfect. Nobody is. I wasn't. He wasn't. His dad wasn't. Nobody is perfect. But knowing who he was when he was with us, when he was with family and such, and his friends, and hearing how much he cared for them when they spoke with us afterwards, and just what we've witnessed too over the years with him growing up. If he would have been in a place, if his depression would have allowed him to see the bigger picture, I don't believe in my heart that there is any way he would have done that. And I say this because suffering depression myself, you become consumed with your own thoughts of yourself. I'm suffering. I'm miserable. I'm unhappy. Nobody loves me. I can't do anything right. Nothing ever works. I can't. Me. All these thoughts are going through, and they're attacking us. Okay? And our loved ones sit around us, and they observe all this, and the pain that they feel for us not being able to help we're not aware of that. Those of us who suffer from depression are not aware of that bigger picture. Some of us maybe to a degree. We are hurting so badly that we just want it to stop. Sometimes it reaches that point where we just want it to stop. We can't go another day facing it. And it's, number one, it's not true. Okay? We have the ability, we have the power and the strength to do this and to fight it every day and to heal ourselves and to find the brighter side of things. We have that. But the disease of depression gets in our heads and it whispers to us that we don't, that we can't, and we won't. Okay? That's not a voice that's coming from our hearts. Now these are my beliefs, okay? They're mine, and I'm sharing them because somebody out there could maybe use to hear that. And maybe it'll help. And I promised after my son's passing that I would not go the rest of my life without attempting to help at least one person. At least one. If not more. I wish that I had the ability to wave my magic wand and cure all depression worldwide. Gotta be a little realistic. I'm not saying I'm not gonna try, but we need to keep it real too. So I'm here and I'm talking about this stuff because that's one of the key things that you need to do when you have depression is to talk. You need to talk to not just a family member or a friend, but in most cases you need to care enough to fight hard enough to go to a professional. Okay? And if you're sitting there and you're like, well, I've tried that, Molly. I've gone to therapists, they don't work. There's more than one. There's more than 10. Okay? We're loaded with therapists. There's always somebody out there. You gotta want to fight it. If you go to one and it doesn't work, they just want to push pills down your throat. And again, I will stress the fact that I am not against medication. Okay? I believe that there is a time and a place for medication, but I believe that medication is not the sole key. If medication was the sole key to fix depression, I'd have been healed years ago. I was on 4 different massive antidepressant medications at max dose for 3 years straight. And I sat in a chair in the corner of my living room, or I laid in bed for 3 years. I relied on that pill, those pills, to be the key. We're kind of programmed with commercials and advertisements and stuff to think that that's the way. It's made to feel like it's the easy way to go. Because to battle depression, I'm not gonna shit you one bit in any video. It is far from easy, but it is doable. It is doable, and if I can do it, you can do it too. There is nothing gained after taking that final step. Every day is a choice, and every day can be a struggle, but every day that struggle gets easier and that choice gets easier to make, because at the end of a year of giving it your heart and soul, really fighting the fight against it, you look back and you can see a huge difference, and you can see how far you've come. It's not a quick fix. Nothing that I have done in my struggle with this has been a quick fix, including pills. But pills did help me at a certain point. I'm not anti-medication. Those medications reached a point where I had to step up my game. I had to switch the way I battled with my depression, the way I battle, because it's still every day. I had to change that up. I had to get involved. I had to become a team player. And by a team player, that meant I couldn't struggle with it and fight it on my own. I had to talk about it. I had to talk about it to my close friends, to my loved ones. I had to talk about it with my therapist. And I went through a few. So when you tell me, Molly, I tried therapy, it didn't work, try again. Back to the drawing board. It's a choice. It didn't work right away, but I made the choice to keep searching and finding the one, and I found him, and he's amazing, and he's helped me tremendously. Now, I've had more than my fair share of struggles in life. Okay, it was not just the passing of my son that contributed to my depression. I've also battled, I'm going to say several, sexual assaults, rape, molestation, and that in childhood. I've been through a fire that destroyed everything. I've lost jobs that were like my career, 24 years in it. I've lost a marriage of 20 years. There's lots of struggles that we go through, and when we're going through them, it is so hard to see through the other side. It's like we're looking through a cone, and the big part with all the chaos and the stress and the upset is all right here in our face. And we can see the light way down a teeny tiny little speck. And we get consumed by that. And it seems like it's undoable. And our disease tells us, you can't do it. It's not going to work. No, why even try? What good will it do? And that's what I mean when it doesn't allow us to see the bigger picture. Like I say, my son had a lot of love for people, and he wanted to help people. He wanted to always cheer them up. and he was there for his friends and those he cared about. And I know in my heart that if he would have seen sorry, if he would have seen his father's face when the phone call came in, if he would have seen his friends' faces, and if he would have seen his little brother and his little sister's faces, if he would have known the pain that his choices caused, there's no way. This disease of depression doesn't end with a suicide. In fact, that's just the beginning. And if I can help one person who even thinks that that's a good option, then my mission will be complete. Sorry, I didn't think that this would happen. So, depression is a disease, and suicide is not a cure. I can't make that clear enough. And those who choose to end their suffering, that little voice in their head that's telling them that's the only option that they have, and they're feeling so much pain that that's the only thing they can think of to do to end it. And they listen to it, and then they quit fighting. They might as well pull the pin on a grenade and toss it in the middle of all their loved ones. Because not one person that knows you, that is your true friend, your loved one, your family, not one person left behind after that decision is made is safe. Their worlds are rocked. Their worlds are torn apart and destroyed. And I can't stress that enough. Your siblings, I don't care how old they are, your children, your spouses, your parents, your cousins, brothers, uncles, mother from wherever, okay? They're all rocked. There could be a a voice in your head telling you that that's what you want. Some people are filled with such anger for whatever reason, whatever situation created it. The variety of that is wide. And some people's depression has told them that that's what needs to happen, and you'll show them. That's the payback for whatever it was that happened. And I'm here to tell you right now, that's freaking bullshit. Sorry for my language. But there's nothing that is a bigger payback to a negative situation like that. Whether you're trying to get back at a boyfriend or a girlfriend that broke up with you, broke your heart for the moment, whatever. A boss, a parent, something, and you feel that I'll show them, and you in a hot moment decide to listen to that voice and take suicide as an option, it may sting for a while. I said in the beginning of all these videos that I'm going to keep it real. It may hurt for a while. Your parents, depending on the situation, may hurt the most. I don't know. But I know that in time, they're going to have days where they're a little better. And your course of revenge for whatever that was isn't going to work. And I'm not saying it's because you didn't matter. Don't get me wrong. But that boyfriend, that girlfriend, whatever it was, again, the situations and the things that we individually have battling in our minds, it'll fade in time. And the best course of revenge or payback, whatever it is that you're thinking in a situation like that, the best form you have is to heal yourself and to live your life. Sorry. Enough. No. I'm sorry. No. Sorry. But the best form of payback or revenge is to be happy, to move forward, to live your life, and let them watch. Let them see. You know, it didn't affect you the way they wanted it to. That's one kind of scenario. And the other kind is like my son, that didn't think clearly, felt alone, hopeless, and saw that as the only way out of the darkness was to end the personal struggle that was going on within him, because there was no mention, there was no reach out to anybody, there was no reason, there was a blind date that was planned for the next morning, There were plans made ahead of time to have his dad come. He lived in another state, and to have his dad come and visit while he was going to college, and see where he was living, and to see his friends, and he had plans for his future. And all his friends were talking about that. This was a heat of the moment kind of thing. And but he had been suffering for a long time and never said a word. So I encourage you greatly to think about it. The bigger picture. If your family and friends never did anything wrong to upset you, if that's your scenario, think of the after effects. Think of how they would give anything to try and help you. Somebody out there would give anything to try and help. You have to let them know. You have to let them know it's a struggle, and as his parents, if we would have known, we'd have been side by side with him for finding the right therapist, finding the right medication, getting the mood changed, maybe just a simple change of environment. We have toxic people in our lives, okay? And some of them can be disguised as friends or people who care or family, whatever. I believe that. I've seen that myself. But there's the others that are furthest from toxic, that would do anything to see you succeed and be happy. I encourage you to shut that voice up in your head for a minute as best you can, and listen to the other one that's telling you there is a brighter side. There are people who love me out there. There are people who care about me out there. There are methods I can do. There are medications I can take. There are doctors I can talk to. There are strangers I can talk to out there. And I encourage you to reach out. I encourage you to reach out. I encourage you to open your eyes every morning and choose to fight that other voice. When it starts talking, you knock it back and tell them to shut up. And immediately find a positive thing, something to be grateful for, the sun shining, okay? The light's so bright in my room, you can't even see my face hardly, I mean, there is always something. I can't stress it enough. Reaching out. There are groups for depression. Listening to other people's stories, sharing your story. If you don't think that you want to be an open book, you don't want everybody to know everything, well, if you take that final step and you make that wrong choice, then everybody's going to know everything. You want to keep secrets? Stay alive. You want to keep secrets? Fight that fight. There's all different ways that people look at this, and I'm trying to hit every one of them, because somebody out there is going to find some benefit from this someday. And it may be you. It may be somebody the other side of the world. Who knows? You get up and you fight. You fight it every day. You want to show somebody something? Show them how you live a happy life. Show them how they didn't affect you. What they did to try and tear you down didn't affect you. Okay? Not the way they wanted it to. That you still can go on. That you can still be happy. That you can still be loved. And live a life that brings fulfillment to you. Screw them. Let them sit in their misery. Let them sit in their pity, whatever it is, their hate, their demons. Let them all sit and have a tea party and watch you on the screen as you succeed. And I'm not talking about big movie screen success or whatever. There's wide varieties of ways to succeed, and living a happy life is the best there is. Moving on, moving forward, and enjoying your life is the best form of revenge, if that's the way you're thinking. I encourage you to choose to battle it every day. I encourage you not to give up. Doesn't mean every day has to be cheery. Obviously, today's a rough day for me too. But I'm not giving up. I'm talking about it. Even to a screen on my laptop. I'm talking about it. I'm getting it out. Okay? Write it down. Journal it. Do whatever you need to do. And pray. I pray every day. I pray for my friends. I pray for my family. I pray for everybody out there who could possibly be watching this. And I pray you don't give up. I pray that you are in this game to win it. I pray that if what you're doing isn't working, that you try something else. Okay? There are many forms of things. I talk about them in my videos. I get up every morning and I get dressed. I put on some makeup. I do my hair. It's a little wild today, hard to tell, but it's a new product and gave me volume. Okay? I do everything possible. I talk with friends. And I take my vitamins. I try to eat right. I need to exercise more than I do. That would be good. I don't do that. I do tarot readings. I'm a believer in Jesus. I don't try to communicate with the past with them. I'm not looking to speak with the spirit world. Nothing like that. Those cards give me something to focus. It's working for me. I'm not changing nothing. It's working. If it's not broke, don't fix it. Okay? I take care of myself. I'm learning to love myself. I'm learning to be grateful for things every day. I pick at least 5 minimum things to be grateful for every day. The sun shining. There's birds singing. I have my children. I have grandchildren. I ate some toast with butter and it was damn good. I put food in my belly. I'm going to be grateful for that. Okay? Those kinds of things, big or small, they don't have to be huge. They can be the tiniest little thing. Take baby steps because it's a long walk. but you can do it. You can get to the other side. You can get to that brighter side. I promise you. But you gotta work. You gotta do the work. You gotta not quit. Okay? And when that route that you're on doesn't feel like it's working, then you try something else. Do not close off your mind to the possibilities that are out there that can help you feel better. The positive things. Okay. Well, I hope this helps somebody. And if you stuck through the whole video, thank you very much. And I hope you find the brighter side. Okay? And we'll talk more soon. Bye.